There's been a lot of talk about Vampyr, Dontnod Entertainment's latest action RPG, specifically its experience system. Playing as Dr. Jonathan Reed, you are a vampire, and your powers are enhanced by the amount of blood you consume. In Vampyr, you don't just delicately prick the neck of your victim, satiating your thirst while turning them into a vampire too. Embracing, as the game calls it, is a death-dealing process. Though you gain experience from kills of most any kind, you gain the most XP from taking blood from people you may not even consider enemies. London citizens have a blood quality rating, which increases as you learn more about them, their backstories, and their ties to other people in the city. On the surface, the system provides an interesting twist on the good versus evil alignment battle many RPGs have nowadays. But add just a dash of meta, and it brings up a larger societal discussion. What happens when you don't have a reason not to take power in society? Games typically provide positive reinforcement for your in-game choices. Positive good enforcement when you play as the hero, or positive bad enforcement when you play as the villain. Whether you have access to different weapons, items, party members, or story branches, you receive mechanic-based incentive to play however you want right from the onset. Initially though, Vampyr doesn't really provide you incentive to be good. One of the first tooltips from the game calls out how the difficulty will decrease based on how many people you kill. Then later you find out that embracing the citizens of London, I still can't get over how ridiculous embracing sounds, increases the chaos of the district that they reside in. That's it. There's no counterpoint of, if you help the citizens, the city will flourish, and then they'll help you by bringing you shiny presents. Your incentive to do the right thing is just doing the right thing. But power isn't made in Vampyr, it's taken. And the more you take from the citizens, the stronger you become as an individual. This feels like a particularly relevant lesson in 2018. Our real world is one with what feels like ever-increasing political corruption. Thinking of money as power, we see massive wealth concentrated in megacorporations and unreasonably rich individuals, and an economic system that doesn't give much incentive to leave power in the hands of smaller individuals. And when we look at those people who do have the opportunity to aggregate power in mass, we have to ask, well, what would be their incentive to not do so, aside from it being the quote-unquote right thing to do? Of course, the reality of the thirst for power is more complicated than just greed and altruism, and the same goes for Vampyr. Dr. Reed has beasts to fight, sicknesses to cure, and if he's killed in combat, he's not going to be able to solve any of those problems. But if Jonathan's success requires victimizing some of the people he's claimed to protect in order to fight back against an external enemy, do the ends justify the means? As players, we have the opportunity to ask this question of ourselves. Most of us aren't in positions where we can aggregate the power of money or influence in mass, but we're regularly confronted with situations that ask, is there any real reason to do the right thing right now, other than it just being the right thing to do? I would say that in those situations, when we interact with our loved ones, our coworkers, the neighborhoods we live in, the planet we live on, doing the right thing should be reason enough. If it makes the game harder to win, so be it, but it feels worthwhile to help maintain the ties in a community instead of destroy them. Heal people when they're sick because it's the right thing to do. And though I maybe just mixed my metaphors a little bit and started talking about the real world, I think this applies to Vampyr too. Perhaps we should need more complicated mechanics to justify us doing the right thing, but is it worth it to watch society fall into corruption and chaos just to concentrate power in the hands of the few? Do we think that the things that they'll be able to do, the supposed evils they claim they'll be able to eliminate, are worth it? Do we not see an opportunity for them to become just a new iteration of that evil they thought they'd get rid of? And what happens to all the people who are connected to the folks who were victimized, terrorized, or even killed in the process? There's a lot about Vampyr's experience system that's interesting as a whole, But the questions it asks about violence, the ways we enact it on each other, and whether or not it's all worth it, those are interesting questions too. My hope is that progressing through the game will provide tangible reasons to fight against the darkness without hurting the ones we claim to care about, channeling our power from both the real enemies we defeat and the love that we save on the way. Thanks for checking out another Intelligame video essay. Special thanks go out to Adam Garner for our editing, the folks at Evolve PR and Dontnod Entertainment for sending us a copy of Vampyr for review, and to Gautam Srikishan for creating some awesome original music. Find more Intelligame content at our homepage, intelligame.us, or subscribe to the Intelligame Radio podcast. Also, you can help support this community financially by becoming a patron on Patreon. What role do you think doing the right thing has in our society? How has that drive shaped the way you play games? Leave your opinions in the comments, I'd love to know. Thanks so much for your support, and until next time, keep Intelligaming.